This movie starts back in 2014. My good mate Timmy, who lived next door, he said to me one day, "We should come out surfing with me." I'd done it once in Hawaii on a long foam board, and I got up on a couple of little waves. So I thought, how hard can it be? I reckon I've got this stuff covered. Turns out, Wollongong surf, bigger waves, it's a lot tougher.
Time for John to eat shit.
Set me off like dynamite strapped tight around my waist. We're the ones in competition, but claim this ain't no race. Let's go!
Right from the beginning, I was able to start recording footage. I'd had a GoPro that I'd bought a year or so earlier that I'd used on motorbikes and other stuff. I just started taking it out to the surf with me and managed to capture all this film, me and Timmy surfing and basically me trying to learn to surf and doing a lot of stacks. At the time, didn't even think this would turn into anything, but after a few years and after catching a lot of footage, we really felt that there was a story here to tell. For about $30 I got a GoPro mount, and another couple of bucks I bought a wrist strap that you could use in the surf, and we just started filming. The early footage I took was always from the wrist guard, and it just started to get like really boring. It's always the same angle, and I thought, I've got to mix it up, I've got to find another way. I bought this GoPro mount, I think it was $30. The first time I put it on, it didn't stick and it lost it, and GoPro gave me another one, which is pretty cool. And I remember I put it on the front of the mini mount, and Tim said to me, "John, that's not going to work, it's a bad idea. You can't duck dive. As soon as you try to duck dive, this thing's going to smash you in the face." Sure enough, he was right. I did a duck dive one day, barely got underneath it, lost grip on the board. I think I'm slamming back into my chest. Left me with a nice big chunk out of me. Funny enough, that one didn't come off. Managed to clock me and still stay on the board, so it's still on there now, actually 3 years later. We ended up getting a GoPro as well, which was pretty awesome, and we share footage and look at each other's waves. And I tell you, I'd be sitting there behind my computer at night looking at these waves that I've got, and then looking at the waves Timmy's got, and he's right in the face and he's going up and down, he's cutting it back, and then you see me jump straight up on a white ball, a whitewash, basically going in a straight line, not really doing anything with it, but you kind of go, one day I'm going to get a wave and I'm going to film it and it's going to look like Timmy's does. Again, the guy just makes it look so easy, but he's been doing it since he was a kid. Looking back on it, I definitely underestimated how hard it was. So after going out with Timmy a couple of times, using one of his small boards, we decided that I needed to get a proper board to start learning.
They say Taylor was a good girl, never want to be late, complain, express ideas in her brain.
We got to this op shop and bought a yellow gun for about $200. It was 7'2", which we thought I'd surfed once or twice, so maybe I'll be able to get it together on that board. It didn't get a lot of waves early on, and really it wasn't the right board for me. Ended up buying a mini mal off a guy in Cronulla for about $300. He'd only used it a couple of times. It never really had been in the water much, so it was basically new. It was a really good deal, and that's really what I learned to surf on.
Poor Taylor, she just wanders around, unaffected by the winter winds, yeah.
That one time surfing in Hawaii, with no idea what it actually took to do it, it just looked easy, right? You were on these 2-foot little waves on this massive foam board that must have had 150 litres of water displacement, which basically means it could put 3 people on it and still float. Then when you get a real board and you go out in some bigger swell, it's a whole other thing, right? It's a whole other challenge. And these guys out there, they make it look so easy. It's not. But when you really pull it together and, you can spend weeks trying to get the paddling right, trying to get it all together, when you finally do, it feels awesome.
Now that Saturday's gone, and sometimes he thinks that he's on his way, but I could see that his brake lights are on, and he just wanders around, unaffected by the winter winds, yeah. And he'll pretend that, well, he's somewhere else, so far and clear, about 2,000 miles from here. Such a tough enchilada, fill up one nada, giving what you gotta give to get a dollar bill. Used to be a limber chick, and times have been a tick, and now she's finger licking to the man with the money in his pocket, flying in his rocket, only stopping by on his way to a better world. If Taylor finds a better world, Taylor's gonna run away.
Surf trip. So Timmy, what was it like teaching me how to surf?
Put it this way, when we first started I had hair.
And now you have no hair.
No.
You're talking about your head or your balls?
Forehead hair, both.
Time, see what's become of me, while I look around for my possibilities. I was so hard to please. Look around, leaves are brown, and the sky is a hazy shade of winter. And the Salvation Army band down by the riverside is bound to be a better ride than what you got planned. Carry a cup in your hand. Look around, leaves are brown, and the sky is a hazy shade of winter.
I think it helps it's trying to only surf 1 day a week.
No, not at all.
You're learning as an adult, not as a kid when you go down there every day.
Yeah, I used to surf just about.
Look around, the grass is high, the fields are right. It's the springtime of my life.
What you're saying is it took me longer than most.
At least 3.5 years.
Yeah, pretty rubbish.
Look around, leaves are brown, and the sky is a hazy shade of winter. Look around, leaves are brown, there's a patch of snow on the ground. Look around, leaves are brown, there's a patch of snow on the ground. Look around, leaves are brown, there's a patch of snow on the ground. Look around, leaves are brown, there's a patch of snow on the ground.
Here we are, Coral.
Well, years ago, you're very game to come here to surf because your car 9 times out of 10 would have got broken into.
That's comforting.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think I'm gonna drown. Is everyone around so hollow?
Got to a point where on the mini mow, I kept trying to over surf it. I was trying to be overly aggressive, but the thing just wouldn't turn. That's when Tim said, it's probably time to try that gun again. Went back to the gun, but paddling on the small waves was really tough. It just wasn't the right board for the wave. for a while I was getting waves, and then there was days where I'd get absolutely nothing because it was just too difficult to paddle onto anything. That gun style board is really for large waves way bigger than I'm ever going to surf. So that's when we started to look around at trying some different boards.
Having sex with the beach. This is Tim before a surf.
Timmy rustled up some boards from his mates. There was a 7S that his brother-in-law had. He had a 7S as well, which I used a bit. Tried one of his other mates' boards. Maybe I think I got one wave on that. And then also had a good crack on his retro board. It was a 1963 custom board by a guy up in Byron Bay. And actually that was the one that I was most successful on. It was actually really small. First time I got on it, I felt like I was trying to paddle on a fence paling, but it was so buoyant. Must have been 3.5, 4 inches thick, single fin, but just super easy to paddle on. And once I got up, I was actually okay. Out of that, we learned that I needed a board that was pretty buoyant. Ended up settling on a Tomo Evo. I think it was 511, not really sure, but I did get a few waves on it. Guess this is the normal routine. Getting out first thing in the morning, trying to work out where to go. Normally check out Easties first. That's usually always got waves. It's an unprotected beach, so it can be really messy. But most of the time, there's usually something going on. So today, have no idea, didn't get a surf report, no email telling me what swell was around. Decided to bring two boards. I've got the Mini Mow and I've got the Nux. Nux is new, had him for about 7 or 8 months. Yeah, he's been a pretty good board. The road's empty, man, no one around. East Corrimal, or Easties as most of us call it. It's sort of a south-facing beach. There's a little inlet, good parking. You can always bank on Easties to have a wave.
Probably say I surf that beach 6 times out of 10. From my house to East Corrimal, it's about a 5-minute drive, not long.
Someday somebody's gonna get run down. Gonna get run down.
Eu não posso dirigir e agora aparece meu dedo enterrado no meu nariz.
I have an alert which emails me when there are waves over 2 foot, no bigger, 6 foot or 8 foot or something. Don't think it's bigger than 8 foot. I'm guessing it's pretty flat. We'll see when we get down there.
Somebody's gonna get run down. My lips
Drive around this corner, hope to see a heap of cars parked. Well, maybe not that many, not too many. But if there's a few cars parked, you kind of at least think, yes, someone's thought it was worthwhile getting out there.
gonna get run down.
And you know what? It's got that right number of cars here today. Be right back.
Just say what's on your mind.
It was probably something like a year to a year and a half into my surfing journey when I actually went out and bought my first new board. It was a Tomo Evo. It was really meant to be some state-of-the-art thing. Super light, some kind of high flex technology. I don't know what it did. Things were kind of going well on it. I was catching waves. There was enough buoyancy for me to paddle on.
Loving and leaving me. You left me for no reason, but you led me to believe. Sometimes your life can crumble. Sometimes your soul might make you stumble, but you can't drown in your sorrow. 'Cause it might be found tomorrow. What you know about living when you've been treated like a queen, but a queen don't know.
Then one day at
about
Easties,
living.
which I should add, Easties is known for its dumpers. It doesn't always get great banks, and on this particular day, you had to really pick your wave. It was only about 3-4 foot, and I paddled onto this thing. Thought it was banking into a right-hander, but then, just as I was paddling on, the whole thing just stood up and come crashing over. I tried to bail out of it, the ball went down nose first, and that was it. Snap. Couldn't believe it, and I was so angry. Bobbing around in the water, I tried to get one half of it. The other half was getting pushed into the beach. Definitely learned that the high flex technology thing makes the boards pretty weak. $1,000 down the drain.
Sometimes your life can crumble. Sometimes your soul might make you stumble, but you can't drown in your sorrow. 'Cause it might be found tomorrow. I said you might be found tomorrow. Will you might be found tomorrow. I said you might be found tomorrow. Will you might be found tomorrow. I said you might be found tomorrow.
So not long after, Kel and I went back down and dropped the board back into where we bought it at Gerringong. The guy sent it off to the makers, and they're actually kind enough to give me another board half price. That's when I bought the Puzz Alien.
Coffee today is fucking hot as fuck.
Fucking awesome to catch up as always, brother.
Yeah, mate.
It's been a while.
It has. What do you got on next weekend? Because Michelle's finished work, see?
Over our place, we could just chuck something on the spit.
Yeah, alright.
Keep it Paddy can hang out.
Unless Michelle goes into labour, then obviously not.
You can come over.
Oh yeah, that'll go down well. I'm just going to get drunk with John while you go look after Harriet and have the new baby.
Well, maybe you got drunk last time you had a baby.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but I lived right next door, which made it handy. You're right.
After I bought the Tomo Evo and snapped that, then I went and bought the Puzz Alien all by myself, unsupervised, but still sort of struggled to really get it together on that board. I decided I would go out and buy another board. I found this slab of a board called Knuckles, 6'2", 36 litre capacity and really sort of fat up around the chest area, which is good for my sort of top heavy body.
Buy a jumbo jet. It wasn't easy, but nothing is. No.
could say it was love at first sight. I thought, you know what, this is the board for me. I think I'll do all right on it. Yeah, I got it on sale, happy days, fins, a whole lot, and off we went. That board's become affectionately known as Nux. It seems to have a theme where I just keep buying green boards, with green aliens or green fists.
I got my head down when I was young. It's not my problem. It's not my problem. Woo! When I feel heavy metal, woo-hoo. And I feel that I need a woo. When I lie and I'm easy all of the time, but I'm never sure why I need you. Please let me down.
It's a great board, it's my daily ride, and you'll see more and more footage of it. It's just an awesome board, super fast, turns easy. I absolutely love it.
Oh, yeah. Time to go surfing, baby.
This is the weather at the moment. Yeah. Love that shit.
Yeah, so every morning we'd get up pretty early, normal routine, have a bit of brekkie, wax your board up, talk to the surf guide who was on the boat as well, and he'd say today's best bet would either be Sultans, Jaws, Chickens or anywhere else, which is the breaks, Cokes, and we'll head to that break.
How long did it take you on the boat? Like different
Oh, not
breaks,
long.
they're all just
They
pretty
were within
local,
20
pretty...
minutes, half
Yeah,
an
right.
hour. So the boat's a pretty big boat that houses about 15 blokes, including staff. But then it has a donny attached to it. They call it a donny, which is just like a boat half the size, but it's just got surfboard racks, holds all your boards, and then seating on the outside. And then in the off season of surfing, they use it for divers. So the donny's a really cool thing. It just putts you out to the break, doesn't go fast or anything like that, just putts you out to the back of the break. Thanks, boys. So my favourite break would have been Jails, and it's called Jails because you're literally surfing in front of an old jail. And it's probably one of the best surf breaks in the whole Maldives. You're never allowed to surf it, otherwise a rifle would be shooting at you.
You gotta ask yourself what's the logic behind that. Because if I'm gonna break someone out of a jail, I'm gonna surf up, I'm gonna come surfing in the wave, use a grappling hook to throw off my surfboard onto the wall. Because let's be honest, surfing doesn't seem to lead into a really easy way to say, I'm gonna get that person out of jail.
Oh, hang on, John. It did in a movie called Point Break. You let him go in the handcuffs and he goes, go for it.
Well, it's okay, that's true. But I mean,
caught, he's out of jail.
I mean, like if they said, look, no tanks near the jail, I'd understand that.
Yeah, so it's pretty funny that the best break there, I'm not allowed to surf for many years. Up until about a year before I went there. Which I was happy because that's when I got my best waves, it was Jails.
When I talk about it, carries on, reasons only new. When I talk about it, Aries or treason's already new. Beg me to talk about it, I
watching the video, there was a fish that got caught on, and they didn't know what to do with it.
Nah.
What was that all about?
Well, obviously I'm not a fisherman, but my $30 Kmart rod seemed to pull that nice big needle nose fish or whatever you call it. And after it come off the hook and you let it go, one of the locals on the boat said, "That's delicacy. Why did you let that go?" And I said, "I didn't know, mate. I didn't like the look of the thing. I was going to buy me or something."
Does it look like a bit of a fuss? Like these like 8 blokes standing around trying to work out what to do with the
Yeah,
fish.
we're not fishermen, obviously. But the surf is definitely some of the best ways I've ever ridden. It's just like a machine, chemical. Just every single one was perfect.
Yeah.
But not a single flaw in any of the ways. Just clean, no closeouts.
Put it on, never was it true, but it's you.
Dive off with your board and surf. When you had enough, you just wave your board up in the air. Guy jumps on the doney, comes out and gets you. Hop back on the doney, go back to the main boat and just drink beer and he celebrates on the awesome ways you call it.
I fell into
Maldives 2016.
What are you looking at, Alfie Langer? What do you rate today's surf, Timmy, on the surf report?
Oh, it's
5, 6?
probably 5 or 6.
5 to
yeah.
6.
Right now, it's definitely a 6. It's cleaned up since we've left.
That last right-hander, what do you think, bro?
Yeah, Johnny. Yeah, Johnny boy, be happy with that one.
I think it's the best right hander I've seen you on, John. For sure.
Very happy with that one.
And I got to see you from the beach too.
Yeah.
Normally I'm behind you.
Yeah. Just wondering what the fuck happened to me.
Yeah. Finally got to see the whole thing, and
Just usually-
I got it on camera.
Usually just looking from the back, waiting for me to pop out of the whitewash because I just got dumped and ate. What can I tell you about Macaulay's? Tim and I always end up surfing the same breaks. It's probably Eastie's 6 or 7 times out of 10, and probably Macaulay's the rest. Every now and then we end up at a different beach, but it's pretty rare. It's normally when we're desperate, driving around trying to find a decent break. Last week we ended up on the south side of Sandon Point, which I think in 3.5 years, 4 years I've even surfed once. But just the way that wind was, it was the only place that had a half decent wave.
Find a home for the head from my basement. No darkness ever left. This the night, this the sound. Here comes the war machine. Such a war machine.
But Macaulay's is a really cool beach. It runs from the southern end of Thirroul Beach and then wraps all the way down around Sandon Point. Sandon Point's definitely gnarly. That's way out of my league. Get these nice big swirls hitting Sandon Point, where you get a big gnarly wave for the real gun surfers, right? And that swirl wraps all the way into the Macaulay's.
This is the night, this is the sound. Here comes the war machine. Such a war machine. This is the life, this is the ground. Here comes the war machine. Such a war machine.
There's sort of a little reefy rock section that sits in the middle, and you get these really cool left and right handers off each edge of the rocks. But you got to be a bit careful on top of it. I remember one day, I just got on a wave, couldn't really turn, so I just sort of rode it in and tried to jump off the back. But by that point, I'd hit the shallow water and I was on the rocks, copping wave after wave on top of you, trying to get your feet. And I remember feeling it push me back and my foot slamming into the rocks. Got back on, got out the back, surfed for another hour. And then it wasn't until we got to the car park and Timmy goes, "Are you bleeding?" And I looked down, and as soon as I lifted my foot up, there was just a big pool of blood underneath it. And it was just gushing out. Timmy's hunting around the back. He had some wet wipes and said, "What about a nappy?" He was like, "You kidding me?" He goes, "Well, it does hold a lot of piss." We fashioned it into like a slip-on sandal and wore it basically like a thong all the way into the emergency room. The guys at the emergency got a pretty good laugh out of it while they patched me up.
Time, bro. Which one do you want to hit up?
Look, if I get a park ride out here, that's the winner.
Done. Winner, chicken dinner.
In the last 6 months, Wade has been joining us and coming down every now and then from Hunters Hill, which is obviously a massive hike. We plan to surf at 7 o'clock in the morning and he's leaving the house at 5:30 to meet us. If that's not dedication, then I don't know what is.
I always feel bad for Hutto when he comes down. Yeah, he's driven an hour and a half. There's no fucking waves. Go and get a coffee. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah, drive another hour and a half back.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I feel bad too.
He's got a board now and lives it at my place, and yeah, I got to say it's been really fun, like having my two best mates in the water with me, and we're surfing, we're hanging crap on each other, even just celebrating the good waves and laughing at each other when we stack it. It's just really good fun, and I definitely miss not having Timmy as part of the crew. Hopefully Wade can continue to come down and surf a bit more, and I'm looking forward to trying to get up to Queensland and catching some waves with Timmy up there.
go get wet and see what happens.
Maybe it was November or October and it was really small. Tim and I were just desperate to get in the water. So I ended up taking out the mini mow, gave Tim Nux. So he had a board that was pretty buoyant. You know, for him, that board's a boat. On the mini mow, I was catching everything. Like, it was so easy. And I was paddling everything and I was turning and I was just having an absolute ball. And then for some reason, it just seemed to be this kind of step where going back almost helped me move forward, if that makes sense. It kind of dialed me into just that sensation of feeling what it's like on the wave, feeling it cutting across through the water, turning it and moving it. When I went back to Nux, it just felt really easy standing up on the board. It was almost like dialing in to that feeling again, but I had more control. I could make a sharper turn, I was faster. It just felt really good. It's now the end of 2017 and I kind of finally feel like I'm a real surfer. I know that seems a weird thing to say, or, you know, maybe it's taken way longer than it should, but these days when I get out there, I'm paddling on waves, I'm hustling, I can chase a wave down. Normally if I paddle for it, I get it, unless it's just too full or the usual kind of story. I'm not a pro surfer, I don't get every wave I paddle for.
I definitely tell by the way you're paddling on them.
Nowhere near as unco as it first started out, that's for sure.
No, even close.
That's for sure.
Probably at that point that I need to do some sort of comparative shot where you can see the old wave versus the new wave and, you know, what's happened in that 3 years. Timmy said a couple of times, he goes, you're like a real surfer now, I can see the difference. He said when you paddle you look like a proper surfer. You know, the board's flat, I'm not getting any drag and I'm moving fast through the water, where before, you know, you could always tell you were new.
my last 3 months, and then we're out of here anyway.
Oh man, it's fucking crazy. We'll park over here and go down that side.
Yeah, whatever, bro.
I know, man. I miss you guys.
Yeah, I know. We'll miss everyone, but I don't know. Life's too short.
And what you're gonna get by doing this deal, you'll be back anyway, right? So, but you get this deal done, and you'll be killing it.
Exactly.
Nice morning.
It's alright, huh?
Surf, good drive down. No screaming kids.
Going on, bro?
Good to see you, brother.
You too.
What's happening, man? You drive your car down or my car down? Oh, I don't know. We'll work it out. Like I'm just about to look at the report.
Yeah, cool.
So one last surf with Timmy before he goes to Queensland.
It's a monumental day.
Big day. At least it's raining today, bro, so it looks like you're meant to do that.
Oh no, that's
I think we've done a monumental effort today of getting 3 surfboards in a BMW series.
unbelievable.
As a family, brother.
Tom and Will fucking fight like cats and dogs.
Really?
Tom will just come out and just fucking kick Will in the face or something. And he'd waited for 3 hours to for that
Get
exact
his
moment
revenge.
to go, crack him in the head. So we're trying to. Then they love each other, right? Then we make him apologise and they hug and kiss, but it's just chaos. Ava's alright. She's
on the sideline just watching.
She's screaming out and stuff as well, and don't know. See if I can catch some waves this time. Just very disappointed in my effort.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of push, man, and get up further on the board so the board's flat, and come back out a bit more and paddle a bit earlier.
Right, yeah, that was exactly what I was doing wrong last time. Yeah, we've got to do Timmy proud last surf. Don't want to be just cooking out at the back.
Mate, I cooked it for him for fucking 3 years.
Really? Mate, I was livid last time. I went home angry. I think I had a fight with Daddy when I got home.
Oh, dude.
Picked up one of the kids' cars out the back and chucked it. And
Totally been there.
it's a cafe we normally go to there. Make sure they get my right meal this time. They ordered an omelette and they brought out a
burrito. So I think they thought you were Mexican.
Probably.
You look Mexican. He said around here somewhere. Oh yeah, there he is. He's got his Audi today.
Oh yeah, nice. A bit messy, doesn't it? Choppage. He's laughing at you with his mastic.
It's 12 o'clock and it's a wonderful day. I know you hate me, but let's get away. If I had to lose a mile, if I had to touch feeling, I would lose my soul the way I do. I don't have to think, I only have to do it. The results are always perfect, but that's old news. Would you like to hear my voice? Sprinkle with emotion, minute at your birth. I can't see the end of me, my whole expanse. I cannot see formulate infinity stored deep inside me. To lose a mile, if I had to touch feeling, I would lose my soul the way I do. I don't have to think, I only have to do it. The results are always perfect, but that's old news. Would you like to hear my voice? Sprinkle with emotion, invented at your birth. I can't see